Marina stood in the doorway, watching her son in silence. He was adjusting the lapels of his new suit in front of the mirror, turning slightly from side to side, studying himself with careful attention. The fabric lay perfectly across his shoulders. The charcoal color made him look older, more confident, more distant. Tomorrow, her boy was getting married. Even thinking the words felt unreal. Ilya tilted his head, examined the reflection one more time, then nodded with quiet satisfaction. The suit fit like it had been made just for him. "Nice suit," he said, turning toward her with a half smile. "Great color. Looks expensive." It is expensive, Marina thought automatically. She remembered the extra night shifts, the aching back, the exhaustion she had hidden behind a smile. But she only said, "I'm glad you like it. Tomorrow I'll probably cry the moment I see you all dressed up." "At the ceremony?" he asked, frowning. "Mom, you're not planning to come to the wedding, are you?" She blinked, unsure she had heard him correctly. "I thought you were joking when you said that." "I wasn't joking." He began pacing the room, his jaw tightening. "Did you forget what Vika's parents are like? The wedding will be full of business owners, politicians, people who own half the city. Everyone will be elegant, polished, elite. You'll feel completely out of place." He sat beside her and took her hand, as if explaining something reasonable. "Mom, imagine how you'll look next to those designer-dressed women. I'll spend the entire ceremony worrying about you. Do you really want to ruin the most important day of my life?" Her fingers went cold in his grasp. "We'll come see you the next day," he continued gently. "We'll bring champagne. You can give us your gift then. We'll celebrate together." Her heart tightened painfully. Her own son was so ashamed of her that he would rather appear at his wedding as if he had no family at all. "Why would I look out of place?" she asked quietly. "I booked a hair appointment. I'll get my nails done. I have a nice dress." "What nice dress?" he snapped. "That old blue thing?" He stood in front of her now, voice hardening. "If you don't understand hints, I'll say it directly. I don't want you at the wedding. Call me whatever you want, but I'm ashamed that my mother is a cleaning lady. I don't want you embarrassing me in front of Vika's family." The words landed like blows. She could not speak. Ilya grabbed his garment bag and backpack and walked toward the door. At the threshold, he paused. "Don't come. No one will be glad to see you." The door closed behind him. Hours passed. Evening shadows filled the room. Somewhere outside, a bus sighed to a stop and drove on. Marina remained on the couch, motionless, hands resting in her lap. She was too stunned to cry. The tears came later. They came when she turned on the light and pulled an old photo album from the dresser drawer. Her entire life lived between its worn pages. She opened it. Memories rushed forward with suffocating force. A faded photograph. A blue-eyed toddler stared solemnly into the camera. Her small dress hung awkwardly on her thin shoulders. Beside her stood a woman with smeared lipstick and an unfocused smile, drunk even in the picture. Marina was 2.5 when her mother lost parental rights and disappeared forever. As an adult, she never tried to find her. Some wounds were better left untouched. Another photo. 10-year-old Marina stood stiffly in the second row at the orphanage, golden curls framing a guarded face. Life there was harsh. Food vanished before reaching the tables. Staff shouted instead of helping. Older children ruled through intimidation, while administrators pretended not to see. Marina learned early, tears solved nothing. Only endurance mattered. Another page. 3 young waitresses posing outside a roadside cafe with a crooked sign. After finishing school, Marina did not dream about careers. She needed survival. She quickly found work at a roadside cafe called Highway Stop. The pay was small, but tips were generous, and the pretty, quick-moving waitress earned more than most. 12-hour shifts left her exhausted, feet burning and shoulders aching. But independence felt like freedom. She rented a bright room in a communal apartment. Her elderly neighbors were kind. She discovered an unexpected talent, transforming thrift store clothing into stylish outfits. With needle and thread, she could make something beautiful out of almost nothing. Life, for the first time, felt hopeful. Then she turned the page, and her breath caught. A summer meadow, sunlight in the grass, a wreath of wild flowers on her head. Beside her stood a dark-haired young man with warm, grey eyes and an easy smile. Maxim. She had been working at the cafe nearly a year when she tripped and spilled tomato juice across his crisp white shirt. The owner yelled. Maxim laughed. "It's okay," he said kindly. "I have another shirt in the car." He handed her the keys as if trusting her completely. That was how it began. He returned that evening with white roses. "I'm courting you," he said with playful confidence. And suddenly, her ordinary life felt like a fairy tale. They spent the summer inseparable, swimming, laughing, dreaming about the future as if nothing could touch them. Maxim was a university student, the mayor's son, and she was the girl from the orphanage. But love did not care. Until his family found out. Phone calls began. Insults. Threats. Strangers asking questions about her. One afternoon, his cousin stormed into the cafe and threw a milkshake in her face while customers watched. Marina never told Maxim. He was preparing for a prestigious exchange program in London. She refused to become a burden. Then, one evening, the phone rang. "This is Nikolai Skvortsov," a cold male voice said. "Maxim's father. You will end this relationship before he leaves. Tell him you have another man. If you ignore my words, you will regret it." The line went dead. Marina would have given her life for Maxim. How could she give him up? When Maxim left for London, her world collapsed with terrifying speed. The cafe owner accused her of theft. She was arrested. The trial felt like theatre. Her state-appointed lawyer barely spoke. Witnesses lied without hesitation. She waited each day for Maxim to return. He never came. She was sentenced to 3 years. In prison, she discovered she was pregnant. She closed the album and pressed her hand to her mouth, then turned the page. A dark-haired baby boy stared from the photograph with curious grey eyes. Her son. Her reason to survive. Marina sat for a long time, her fingers resting on the photograph of the dark-haired baby boy. Her son. Her entire reason to keep breathing. She remembered the day he was born, the sterile smell of the prison infirmary, the cracked ceiling paint, the thin blanket that did nothing against the cold. She remembered holding him for the first time and feeling something fierce and protective ignite inside her chest. She had nothing, but she had him. and that was enough to survive anything. She served 18 months before being released on parole. It was a miracle they did not take her child away. Freedom did not feel like freedom. No one wanted to hire a young woman with a criminal record and a baby in her arms. Doors closed politely. Some closed in her face. Her elderly neighbor, Yakov Ivanovich, helped arrange childcare through an acquaintance so she could work. From that day forward, Marina lived in motion. She cleaned restaurant floors before sunrise, scrubbed office hallways at night, worked weekends at a car wash, sewed pillowcases and bedding after midnight, her fingers numb from cold water and exhaustion. Sleep became a luxury she could not afford. But Ilya always had warm food, clean clothes, toys, new shoes. She never complained, never let him see the cost. While she was in prison, the past had erased itself. The cafe owner went bankrupt. The mayor's family moved to Moscow. Maxim married a society beauty. When Marina heard that news, she cried all night, silently, so she would not wake the baby. In the morning, she wiped her face and went to work. Her life had only one purpose now: raising her son. Years passed. Ilya grew into a bright, handsome boy with curious grey eyes and a quick mind. Teachers praised him. Neighbors admired him. Marina lived for every smile he gave her. If he needed a school uniform, she found the money. If he wanted a new phone, she took extra shifts. If he needed tutoring, she skipped meals to pay for it. She never told him no. She never spoke about hardship. She never spoke about the past. And slowly, without realizing it, she raised a boy who believed the world simply provided. At dawn, after the night with the photo album, Marina whispered to his portrait, "I gave you everything for 25 years. But this time, I will do what I want." She opened the small wooden box where she kept her savings, folded bills, emergency money, careful hope. Her bank card held her latest paycheck. It would be enough. A dress, hair, makeup, a moment of dignity. The registry hall buzzed with elegant guests and the soft hum of expensive perfumes. When Marina entered, conversations softened. She had always looked younger than her age, but after the beauty salon, she seemed transformed. Her hair fell in soft waves around her face. Her makeup was subtle and refined. The deep blue dress emphasized her graceful figure and clear eyes. Men glanced at her. Women studied her. No one saw a cleaning lady. They saw a beautiful, poised woman. During the ceremony, Marina stood quietly at the back, tears shimmering in her eyes as she watched her son and his radiant bride exchange vows. How grown he looked. How serious. How nervous. Her heart swelled with love. She was grateful she had come. After the ceremony, guests crowded around the newlyweds. Ilya slipped through the crowd toward his mother, his voice low and tense. "So my request meant nothing to you?" "I saw what I came to see," she replied calmly. "You're not coming to the reception, right?" "I'm not," she said softly. "I've already received my gift." Before he could respond, Vika hurried toward them, cheeks flushed with happiness. "Marina Anatolievna, you look incredible. My parents insist you join us at the restaurant." Marina shook her head gently. "I should go." "What do you mean, go?" Vika said, confused. "Ilya, what's happening?" Ilya forced a smile that did not reach his eyes. "Mum, please come. It is my wedding after all." The restaurant glittered with crystal chandeliers and quiet wealth. When it was time for the parents to speak, Marina felt her heart pounding as she accepted the microphone. She looked at the young couple, her son, and the girl who would share his life. "My dear children," she said softly, "be happy. Love each other all your lives. Protect what you have. It is the most precious thing in the world." Her voice trembled with sincerity. For a moment, the room was silent. Then applause rose like a wave. As she stepped down from the small stage, she nearly collided with a tall man in a tailored suit. He stared at her as if the past had stepped into the room. "Marina?" Her breath caught. "Maxime?" For a moment, time seemed to collapse. "I can't believe it," he said quietly. "Is it really you?" "What are you doing here?" she asked, still stunned. "The bride's father is my business partner." He took her hand, as if afraid she might disappear. They stepped aside near the window. He told her everything. He had been told she left him for another man. He tried to confirm it. Everyone repeated the lie. He stayed abroad longer, heartbroken. He married later, divorced 10 years ago. No children. "Was I ever truly happy?" he said quietly. "Only once with you." She looked away, blinking back tears. "Tonight is not for sadness," she whispered. "Ask me to dance." Guests watched as the elegant couple glided across the dance floor. Graceful, natural, familiar. Ilya stared at them, unable to look away. He suddenly saw his mother not as the tired woman in a cleaning uniform, but as a beautiful woman who had sacrificed her entire life for him. For the first time in his life, he felt ashamed. Not of her, of himself. Later, he saw her walking towards the exit with the well-dressed stranger. He hurried after her. "Mum, where are you going?" "You wanted me gone," she said gently. "But who is this man?" She looked at Maxim, then back at her son. "With this man," she said softly, "I could go anywhere." She paused. Her voice was calm. "Meet your father." Silence fell. Ilya stared at them, stunned. Maxim looked equally shocked. Marina took a slow breath and gave a tired, hopeful smile. "I think the three of us have a very long conversation ahead." If this touched you, like the video and subscribe to the channel for new stories.